Hello and good morning. Welcome to Ice Cream Uploads here on Friday the 7th of February. It's still baffling me how quick this year is going.
It's going very, very quickly. We're 1/12 of the way through already. Over 1/12.
That's absolutely sick. But yes, this is The Scoop. We go live at 10 a.m. every single weekday. So that's Monday to Friday, not Saturday or Sunday, because that would count as the weekend, wouldn't it, Luke?
It would. Last time I checked, yes.
All right. Thanks for confirming that one. We go through all the video game news that we think that you need to know about and give you our opinions on it. And if you are in the chat, please do shout up that you are there, because we'd like to hear your dreams. Your dreams? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, tell your dreams.
We want to hear your dreams.
It's
literally... That's because I was reading something before about Dreams is being streamed today. It's like out next week, and I don't know. It's just Friday, innit? Friday and Monday, the two shows where it kind of goes right out the window. But yes, this is the show where we go through all the video game news, and we want to hear your opinions, because most certainly you're going to get ours. We do have quite a bit of news today, but there is someone who's been out of the office for the last 2 or 3 days, and I want to know exactly what he's been doing.
Yeah. So basically, there's a game called Granblue Fantasy Versus, which is coming out. I think all I can say is Q1 this year. And basically, well, I'm going to break down the fourth wall a little bit here and just discuss that we are Jelly Media, and we do a show called, the Scoop Fire Ice Cream, our sort of subsidiary.
Yes.
But anyway, Jelly Media went down to organise an event down in London, allowing sort of members of the press and influencers and select invitees, is that the way, to try out this game. And it's like, if you imagine sort of like Street Fighter but anime, you pretty much get the idea. And I think it's based on like a RPG that was out like maybe 5 years ago or something, like called Granblue Fantasy something. But yeah, it seemed to go well. Everyone seemed to like the game. People are nerding out a bit. It's definitely like quite a lot of anime fans there and stuff like that. A lot of fighting fans as well. I think they're trying to tap into like that Super Smash Brothers sort of fan base as well, which is obviously quite a different kind of fighting game. Yeah. But it's that kind of more colourful, casual sort of community in a way, but mix it with this sort of style. And it went well. I've been enjoying it. So that was me for the last couple of days, really, because I went down very early on Wednesday morning to set up, and then stayed overnight as well. So came back yesterday. But
it's a good game. It's because we was at Gamescom this year as well, as Jelly was looking after the Pro Evo booth, and we also was looking after that one as well. Right, so I actually got to play that one, and it's so ignorant of me forgetting the guy's name who was there.
What the Marvelous Games guy? Do you mean? Or,
yeah, no, not John. There was two lads. No, there was two lads who were looking after the booth. The brothers.
I might not know. They might not have been like at the same event, so I don't know. Is where I was at, because there was Sam and there was Scott. But anyway.
But yeah, one of the two lads just absolutely kicked my ass in the game. Like, I just couldn't. I'm terrible at fighting games as it is. Yeah. I don't need someone who knows about fighting games to come and beat me, because that's just disheartening, to say the least.
Well, like, I need to give a big up to Karim, who.
That's it. That was in Karim. Yeah, that's who I meant. Yeah, no, Karim.
He was. He knew his stuff about the game, and he showed me a thing or two about it as well. I managed to beat him once. We had like loads of games. I managed to beat him once, but he knew his stuff. Yeah,
he absolutely wiped the floor with me, just like in front of anybody who was waiting for the game at the Gamescom. Not Gamescom. EGX.
Yes.
It was EGX that was looking after it. So yeah, I just got my ass kicked by him. He's a very, very good player, and he's also one of the nicest guys that I think I've ever met in my life as well.
He's a great guy.
He's such a people person.
Definitely, 100%.
So yes, that was Luke's outing. You've pretty much not missed anything here, mate. We've just been going through the news and absolutely killing it. Graham does it from home. We do it from here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. We put in the extra effort to come into the studio today.
So this is, I think, episode 78. We don't usually like to episode them. However, I need to episode them for the purpose of people listening to it on our podcast services, which are, Luke?
SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play.
There we go. And also, this is available on demand via our two on-demand services, which is Twitch. I was going to say Vimeo then, but that's really not it. Twitch and YouTube. The YouTube one will go live about an hour afterwards, and this you can catch it as soon as the stream finishes. Or if you're live in the chat, then you'll be able to, watch it now. It's not really an on-demand service. Exactly. Wait, is this effort?
This is effort.
Says Graham.
Yeah, I knew you wouldn't be able to get away with that comment.
We're just turning up. Do you know what I mean? We're just turning up. We're contractually obliged to be here.
Exactly. So we just, I mean, the news does the work for us, really, doesn't it?
We just have to talk about them. Let me just take the lid off this before I burn my face off again.
Now, did that happen again since the last couple of days?
No, mate, because what I've been doing now is I've been making my brew, carrying my brew from the brew room to here, then taking the lid off, letting it cool a little bit, rather than drinking it through this.
Yeah, sensible until you chuck it all over your laptop. But stay tuned; it'll happen one day, folks.
It will happen one day because I am possibly the clumsiest person. Not as clumsy as my nephew, who seems to bang his head off absolutely thin air, but I am extremely clumsy. Graham says effort would be bringing in the games you said that you'd bring in. Just saying. Oh, is that Fallen Order there? Yeah. So before Christmas, I told Graham that I was going to bring in Resident Evil 2 for him so he could play it. It is now the 7th of February. I am still yet to provide the game for Graham. However, Graham has mentioned that he was going to bring Fallen Order in for me because he's finished it, and he has brought it in for me.
So what you're saying is Graham upheld his end of the bargain, and you haven't upheld yours?
In a very brief nutshell,
okay.
Arguably, yes.
So don't ever engage in sort of agreements with Bibby.
That's pretty pretty much that's it. Enix says, "Yo, morning, mate." But yes, I'm going to start this weekend. Obviously, small bit of housekeeping. This is obviously the Scoob. We go live at 10 a.m. every single weekday. It'll either be myself, Mr. Luke, Burnsy Burns, or Graham hosting this show. Usually finishes around midday. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, Josie comes in and streams for us for around about 3 hours from 12 till 3 o'clock. Currently she's playing Death Stranding. And then sprinkled in around that, you will see on our Twitter post, we've got an animation now that we put out on Mondays with our schedule of what we're going to be having this week. Today's schedule is this 10 a.m. till whenever it finishes, and then tonight 7 p.m. I keep on looking at that camera even though it's that camera.
Yes, I just noticed that.
We were going live again tonight from the Bibby residence as we go through and play Pro Evolution Soccer 6. You'll have seen last week that we did a stream of around about 5.5 hours, getting the community members involved. We had 2v2. It was a right laugh. Tonight, we're doing exactly the same. However, we've got more people who have been and got the Better Wear woman to come and give them their copy of the game. I've sent them up. She's done a madness. So we've got more people that will be playing tonight. I think, off the top of my head, we've got about 8 players. Nice. So there could be a lot of 2v2 action going on tonight. Potentially, there could be a small tournament with no prizes up for grabs, just bragging rights. I'm not saying anything more than that. We'll see. But as soon as we know more, you'll know. God, now I have got dry mouth. Read what NX says.
Right. Well, first he says yo, and then he says PSO2 beta tonight on Xbox at 1 a.m. Sad cry face. Long night. Yeah, so Phantasy Star Online 2, which I know has been going on about for quite a while, looks like it's getting its final. It's finally coming to the console so people can play it. At 1 in the morning.
Yes. But I mean, if 1 in the morning, you can go to bed now, mate. Like, I don't know, like what you're doing now. You're watching us. You can go to bed after this because we obviously want you to be here.
Yeah.
But go to bed about 1 o'clock. Wake up about 5 o'clock, and then you've got the rest of the day to be able to play it.
Yeah, precisely. It sounds good.
It's easy, isn't it? It's easy when you know, mate.
And it's Friday as well, so it's not like.
I've been asleep since 7 p.m. yesterday. Okay, so your sleeping pattern's pretty much fucked then. So you've got no way of being able to sort that out within the next 12 hours or so. But enough about your sleeping pattern. We want to get into the news for today. So let's press buttons and see what happens. Buttons have been pressed. Things are on the screen, and our first news story for today comes from Eurogamer, and written by our friend Wesley Yin-Poole, who does dynamite stuff over there. So Ubisoft promises 5 AAA games before April 2021. Okay, so that's 14 months' time, mate. Is it possible? Are the games going to be any good?
Well, true. I mean, they've got enough time to make them good, you would hope, but
5 though.
Well, I suppose actually, it depends. If they're doing all 5 at once and they've got like 5 teams sort of working on them like at the same time, then I think we could have 5 good games. But if they're kind of like rushing them out one after another on a conveyor belt, probably not.
Well, let's see what games they potentially have got in store for us then. So Ubisoft has promised 5 AAA games before April 2021. 2021, yeah, that's right. I'm just reading that. I don't know. Forget about it. One of which is reportedly a new Far Cry game. Before I carry on, are you into Far Cry?
I haven't really played it.
Have you not?
No.
See, Far Cry 2, 3 and 4 were amazing. I absolutely loved them. Never picked up New Dawn, never picked up 5. Primal was a bit shit.
Okay. I've seen like some clips of it and stuff. I think it looks alright.
I think New Dawn was 5. I think there's one in between that. I think there's a small spin-off one.
Yeah,
I can't remember what that was called. But yeah, I do like Far Cry. I do need to go back and play the other ones. However, in a financial call this evening, the company said 3 of those games will launch in the 3rd quarter of its next financial year, October to December 2020, and 2 will launch in the 4th quarter, January to March 2021. Okay, so that's not quite 14 months away.
No, it isn't.
So what are the games? Ubisoft confirmed 3 of them: Watch Dogs Legion, Gods and Monsters, and Rainbow Six Quarantine. The 2 of the Viking-themed Assassin's Creed and the next Far Cry, according to Kotaku's Jason Schreier. Anyone holding out hope for a Splinter Cell is once again going to be disappointed. Sorry, it's Assassin's Creed and Far Cry. The last Far Cry was Far Cry 5 follow-up New Dawn. Okay, so I did get that right, believe it or not. Which came out in February 2019. Assuming this new Far Cry isn't delayed, we're looking at a gap of 2 years between the games. One of the 5 games was delayed to the 4th quarter of the next financial year, January to March 2021, although Ubisoft didn't say which one. What of the long-running development beyond Good and Evil 2? That's not coming out until March 2021. Ubisoft confirmed on the call. Also absent from the next financial year is MIA Pirates game Skull and Bones. So that's Ubisoft AAA video game slate for next year and a bit. Anything of interest? I mean, it's kind of.
I mean, a lot of those, I suppose, are like Ubisoft going through the motions, though, really, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any surprise here, if I'm being honest. We kind of expected Assassin's Creed to appear every 12 to 18 months.
Yeah.
A new Far Cry game, I'd say probably 2 years. What else did we have here?
Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah, Watch Dogs, that's been stated for a while, so we've been expecting that. I think the Watch Dogs... This is the 3rd one, isn't it? Watch Dogs 3. So the second one came out, I think, around about 3 years ago-ish.
Is it that long now?
So nothing stands out. The Rainbow Six Quarantine thing, that's probably the main thing that stands out for me, purely because of how good Siege is doing still as an esport and as a live service game.
Yeah.
It feels weird to tamper with it, but I think the game's been out for 6 years.
Right. I'm
sure it was like the 6th year anniversary not long ago. And it's something, that I'm going to find out now because it's going to bug me.
You look up that and I'll ponder over what Gods and Monsters is, because I haven't actually heard of that one.
Shall we look at a trailer if I can find one?
Yeah, okay.
Rainbow Six Siege came out on the 1st of December 2015.
Okay, so yeah, 5 years ago.
Then the other one was Gods and Monsters, was it? Gods and Monsters. Release date, game, trailer. So we're going to watch this trailer because I haven't seen anything from this. World premiere. When? Oh,
hang on. Is it the one that looks a bit like Breath of the Wild, or is it different?
E3 2019, it got revealed. So, see, I think if I put it full screen, that YouTube don't allow it. So they take it down. They take the entire stream down, which is why I always play it in a small screen.
Okay.
So I'm
no idea, but
I'm going to just play it like this and then see what happens.
See if we get taken down or not.
Well, don't forget you can find us on all the other podcast services. So if you can't watch it, just go back on Twitch and you can see it on there.
Exactly. I just want to check whether this is what I think it is, because I do remember seeing a game a bit like this at E3 or whatever. And it was very, very like Breath of the Wild, and this looks a bit Breath of the Wild.
It does look very Breath of the Wild. Why is it lagging?
I know. Yeah.
Oh my god, it is a clone.
It's massive.
Oh, it's even got him looking over the mountains.
I know.
Do you know what though? We need a Breath of the Wild on the PlayStation.
Well, yeah.
This is the answer, mate, isn't it? Is it playing at like 4K or something? Because the buffer is mad. Let's drop that down. I mean, it's not going to look as spectacular, but... Okay, that was worth it.
I can only see the end slate in glorious 720 anyway.
Do you know what, mate? I think I'm in.
Yeah.
I think I'm in.
Obviously, it's only very teasery at the moment, isn't it?
It is very teasery.
You can... I think because it is very Breath of the Wild, you make certain deductions that are probably true, which is that it's going to be like a big open world sort of game, and that it will just have a lot of the same sort of missions and stuff like that, and item collecting and like probably cooking, and I don't know. I'm just thinking Breath of the Wild basically, but it does look good to be fair.
Yeah, the graphics look great. The Legend of Zelda. That's one way of getting around it. That's a turkey special, that one. Shit.
It's the coffee shittery.
It wasn't the actual drink. I'm just saying that like the future was not predicted by Luke.
No, it's true. Well, it's like Pokemon being copied, and then Legend of Zelda being copied. Well, Nintendo need to get on it.
Well, we shall see whether or not this lives up to being a clone, because the one clone that we've had recently of Pokemon in Temtem it looks phenomenal. It's playing well. It's trending on Twitch. People are playing it. Yeah. People are enjoying it. So, if anything, it just means that Nintendo and particularly Game Freak on that side of things will have to start, performing better.
Competition in it at the end of the day. I mean, I'm in two minds about it, because I think it's I'm sure those games are good. Like, I've not actually played Temtem, but I'm sure it is good, and it clearly is like popular because a lot of people are playing it. It's just like a principle thing, I suppose. Or it is a bit irritating that they're just resorting to copying. It's like rewarding a lack of creativity. But
I mean, if you are rewarding a lack of creativity, then surely that's your hill to die on. Like,
yeah, no,
they haven't. How long? I mean, with 78 shows in here, I'm fairly certain it's around that figure anyway. We've been talking about Pokemon a lot on this show, obviously because we are Pokemon fans. They, at no point in the last 5 years, have even acknowledged the community wanting to potentially change the way that Pokemon is played. We want to see an open world Pokemon game. We're not getting that at the moment. There is people in the community who have created fan versions of the game that like MMOs and open world games. So the fact that Temtem have come out, made their own monsters, like pocket monsters we'll call them, just for the sake of this, they made their own pocket monsters, pretty much cloned the entire Pokemon formula, but gone the step further. That has to force Nintendo's hand in saying, look, we need to potentially change the way that we do the next game. Yeah, it has to
do something the same as well. I think with Sword and Shield, to be fair, it got a bit of a bad press when it came out, or before it came out, didn't it? And I think a lot of that actually was to do with the fact that it ended up like taking away half of the monsters from the games and stuff like that. People got pissed off with those kind of things, and there was a little bit buggy at the start. But I've been playing through it. I've not like encountered really any of that bugginess, and it does feel the most different. I know it's not saying a lot because Pokemon's notoriously very like traditional and it's like keeps replicating itself, but it's probably the most different that Pokemon's been in a while. I think it's because it's on technically a home console this time around.
Is it as easy as people make it out to be? Because the people are saying, I'm saying people, I'm just kind of generalising what I read on Twitter and Reddit and things like that. They're saying it's the easiest one out the entire, pretty much the entire franchise.
Maybe. I think they're slightly exaggerated. It is pretty easy, but I've still been like having to go back to the Pokemon Center like after getting halfway down a route or whatever. It's not like I can just sort of like wipe everything along the way. I'm still having to think a bit, and I think each Pokemon battle, I think Pokemon battles are less in this because in the wild you can see the Pokemon that you encounter and you can dodge them, but I think each battle is potentially a little bit more important. Like you have to think a bit hard about it. Like it could be a bit more dangerous or whatever. But in terms of like the experience, like the way that all the team levels up and stuff is a little bit shite.
I'm just thinking now, like, I used to spend hours and hours, and this is going to get taken completely out of context, so if you want to take this out of context, do feel free to start clipping this, but I spend hours grinding on that game.
Yes.
Like, hours, getting my Pokemon to a standard where I could actually take them to the very end of the game.
Yeah. That is something you don't need to do in this, to be fair.
You see, for me, that's part of the fun, collecting them, and then, in fact, on yesterday's show, was it yesterday or was it the day before? It must have. It has to have been yesterday. We talked about Pokemon Go and the fact that they're cloning Pokemon, but not only that they're bringing out a new Pokemon film at the end of the month, which is like a 3D version of the original.
Oh yeah, no, I did. Yeah. So I didn't realise that was like around.
He's on the show and he don't listen to it. Do you know what I mean? He had all day yesterday to listen to it. Anyway, they are bringing out a new film. I'm sure it's a film on Netflix based on like the original series. So me and Samantha started watching the original series in bed last night. And where the fuck was I going with this?
I don't know, actually. You were watching, so you've got to connect that with a film, the new film that's coming out, right? Is that what you were trying to do?
I don't know where I was going with this. Like, I had in my head where I was going with it, and it's just completely gone.
Well, there we go. That's it now. We're just going to have to sit here in awkward silence.
It's gone. I think this is literally the first time that I think I have ever started to make a point, and then it's just completely gone out of my head.
Oh, it happens every single sentence for me, so.
What the shit? Obviously it would have been about Pokemon because they said we were starting to watch it last night. It's gone.
No, okay, well,
It's gone.
That's fine.
Well,
that's that, folks.
Well, we'll get through to the fourth one and they'll be like, here it is, I've got the point.
We'll make that the point. Basically, Bibby was watching Pokemon in bed. That's just what he does.
It's literally gone. What the shit?
I mean, to be fair, we have like already massively sort of detoured from the article.
Oh yeah, I mean, Ubisoft bringing out games. I mean, the whole point of this article was to say that they're bringing out 5 games before 2021. If they are going to get them games out, it's pretty much the same stuff that we are going to be seeing. They're going to be bringing out a new Assassin's Creed. And Watch Dogs has been in the works for quite a long time. Gods and Monsters looks phenomenal. Now looking at it, it's the first time I've heard of it, but I've never seen anything from it.
I never knew it was called that. I feel like I've seen that clip before, but it completely didn't ring a bell, the name, so I don't know whether that's a relatively new or different name, or I just didn't pay attention.
So I'm just having a look at the chat now. And Ice Cream says 10 has dropped off this week, to be fair. Currently 56 more viewed on Twitch. Okay, fair enough. Is that because you think people have completed it?
Don't know. Is it more of an online thing then, Temtem?
So you can play it offline. However, if you wanted to join up with your friends,
right,
you can all do the story mode together on the campaign.
Okay, so you can kind of like cool.
Yeah,
it's a lot more like. I'm going back onto this again now. It's more like I've noticed more dual sort of battles or whatever. Is it always the case that you send 2 Pokemon out at once or whatever? Because whenever I watched it on Twitch, it's like you're sending out 2 Pokemon and they battle, like
I have no idea.
I'm only wondering how the co-op or whatever works. Maybe it's like you send 1 Pokemon out each to battle opponents.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I imagine it's probably 1v1, and then if there's 2 years, it's 2v2. Maybe, but I don't know. LFC Carson says clipped. Nice one, mate. Asim says sell fridges. Morning, mate. Yes, it's. Did you see that?
I saw that clip. Yeah,
it's fantastic stuff. Enix says I'd pay to see Bibby grinding. Well, you can sign up to my OnlyFans account, which is onlyfans.cock. /
that on Ice Cream.
/ Bibby Big Dick. And that is it for that. Ubisoft promises stuff. Blah blah blah. We've seen it all before. Right. This one's an interesting one. Well, it's not because it's kind of expected, but it's definitely newsworthy, I suggest. Do you want to read this one?
Yeah, I'll read this one. This is on Metro, and it's just by GameCentral.
As per.
Final Fantasy VII Remake on Xbox delayed until after April 2021. Oh. The delay for Final Fantasy VII Remake on PS4 means that the exclusivity deal for other formats has also been pushed back by a month. The politics surrounding console exclusives is clearly going to be one of the most important issues of the next generation, with Microsoft saying it won't have any on Xbox Series X for at least a year, while also insisting that Sony is out of position in terms of cloud technology. Burn. But ignoring the question of how important they are, Sony currently has far more big-name exclusives to its name. Both those it makes itself and timed deals for third-party games, like the one-year deal with Square Enix for Final Fantasy VII Remake. The game is currently only scheduled for the PlayStation 4, but its release date was recently put back until 10th of April, which means its exclusivity period has also been extended, as noticed in the small print by Siliconera. That does make sense. Sony are paying for a year's exclusivity from when it actually comes out, not from when it was supposed to. But it does mean there's no possibility of an Xbox version until April 2021. But while you can probably expect a PC version very soon after that, there's no guarantee that there will be an Xbox version at all. Final Fantasy VII Remake is a very important franchise for Sony to keep to itself, and there's nothing stopping them trying to extend the exclusivity deal, especially as we don't yet know whether it will also stand for the subsequent Final Fantasy VII Remake episodes. But then there's still no real clue how the episodic release will work, since Square Enix has not been keen to promote the fact that what's coming out in April is only a small portion of the story, that only includes the events taking place in and around Midgard. There's been no indication of how many games will be needed to finish the story, but it's presumably at least one or two more. So does that mean the Xbox will also be one behind, or will Square Enix wait till they're all out before porting them to other formats? And will there be a PS5 specific version, or just a patch to improve the graphics if the original is backward compatible? There's still a lot of questions to answer, and it may be a long time till we find out more.
Right, so for me, that makes absolute sense. As soon as I seen the headline this morning, I was like, well, they've signed an exclusivity deal. Just because it's been pushed back doesn't mean that the deal then becomes null and void and they can bring it out closer. So they signed the exclusivity deal. It's going to be coming out 12 months after the fact on any other console. Interested that they're trying to keep it to themselves. Well, Sony will want to keep this to themselves, but I remember playing most of my Final Fantasy games, or at least the last couple that I played was on the 360.
Right, okay, yeah.
I think the last one I actually played was on my PS4, and it was a remake. Was it Zero?
Pretty much all Final Fantasy games have originally come out on PlayStation and then Xbox afterwards. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think 13 came out at the same time. I don't think there was an exclusivity thing. So I remember buying that, and I think it was BioShock 2 at the same time. I'm fairly certain they both came out around the same time. Nice. But yeah, I mean, this as much as it isn't news, it is still news. It's just affirming the point that Sony have got the exclusive.
Yeah,
it's gonna be there for a long time. Interesting that they said that they're gonna try and keep hold of it, and that Xbox may not even put it out at all. Can't see that ever being the case.
Well, I suppose the thing is, April 2021, obviously will be well into the next gen by then. Doesn't mean they're going to stop making games, obviously, for the previous gen either. But I mean, did it? Sorry, I'm forgetting now. But did it say anything about it coming out on the Xbox Series X, or would it be for the Xbox One?
It mentions here. I'm just going to read this one again. It says that does make sense. Sony are paying for a year's exclusivity from when it actually comes out, not from when it's supposed to.
Yeah.
But while you can probably expect a PC version very soon after, there is no guarantee that there will be an Xbox version at all.
Yeah, okay.
Which seems to be the way at the moment. So we've got Death Stranding that came out as a PS4 exclusive, timed exclusive. Now we know it's coming out on PC.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been any mention of that coming out on the Xbox.
No, true.
So
I think like the PC has like that edge in terms of people are kind of sometimes willing to wait or even buy again for PC because you've got that extra graphical oomph or whatever, or just because people prefer playing PC games. Xbox obviously it's just another console. It's ultimately very similar to the PS4, so I can't see the demand being as strong for it. Especially at this stage in the generation's lifespan, I can't see too many people only having an Xbox One and not a PC or a PS4. I mean, there'll be plenty, but not enough to justify it, perhaps.
Well, when there's 18 million people on Steam at any one time, mate, the audience is there. Whether or not they want to play the new Final Fantasy, I don't know. But Final Fantasy, the online version of the game, does extremely well still. So whether or not they want to play a main storyline game, this is probably one of the most iconic PlayStation games there has ever been, ever.
True.
Which, do I want to go as far as to say it was a system seller for the PlayStation 1? I do think it's probably in that bracket.
Yeah, certainly one of. I mean, there's definitely a few games you could put up there, but yeah, Final Fantasy VII definitely one of them.
I think it's going to be a weird one. And I always say it's going to be a weird one, and then I go into something that, as I'm saying, it could potentially not be as weird as what I'm making it out to be.
Okay, brace yourselves.
But growing up, I was at the age when Final Fantasy came out. I was around about 7 or 8. I did not play it at the time it came out. I got it when I was probably about... Sorry about that, you heard my Slack going off. I've probably seen that I was playing that around about 10 or 11-ish.
No.
I would never have been able to get it into my mind playing a game like that when I was that young. I just wouldn't have been able to
appreciate
it. That's a good word. Now, obviously, since then, I've gone back and I've completed it 4 or 5 times.
Right. So you're a big fan of them.
I mean, I want to say it's an incompletable game. It's just a very long game. I mean, it's on 4 discs for Christ's sake.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That doesn't happen on PlayStation 1. So, as someone who was very young when it came out, obviously I didn't appreciate it till I was a lot older. I am obviously now nearly 30. I'm bang up for this game now. I want to play it in its entirety. Whenever the episodes decide to all come out.
Yeah.
There is a new audience that's going to be for this game now. Kids who are 7, 8, 9 and 10 probably may have a better mindset than I did in the 90s to be able to play games, because playing games on your PS4 now as a child is so much more...
Yeah, it's mainstream almost.
Yeah, compared to what it was in the 90s. So... The fact that it's real-time combat as well, and it's like a hack and slash, it kind of looks like Devil May Cry, and that's no disrespect to either franchises, but as soon as I think of hack and slash, I immediately have a think of Dynasty Warriors and Devil May Cry. It's not a knock on either of those things, but it's a hack and slash game. It's not a turn-based game like it was originally. That's going to appeal to more people, which is probably why I think they've done that rather than going back to the turn-based strategy side of it.
Trying to sort of tap into a slightly different audience, I guess. Maybe their theory is, everyone who was into turn-based has already played it, gone back and played the original or whatever. Although I fall into the bracket of haven't played it and I'm quite into turn-based sort of RPGs. So
has that developed over time? Or has that always been your kind of taste of games? Because I know, obviously, we talked about you liking Command and Conquer with the RTS side of things.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like actual strategy games, I suppose I've always quite liked real-time strategy, like Command and Conquer, but I have played some turn-based as well and still enjoy them. But RPG-wise, I suppose even things like Pokemon, at the end of the day, and then some other Final Fantasy ones that I have played on the DS or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I never had a PlayStation, so I'm one of those rare people who so many classics passed me by, and a lot of them were Final Fantasy games. Didn't have a PS2 either. But yeah, in terms of there's like a series called Golden Sun, which was on the Nintendo, maybe Game Boy Advance, I think, and that was like a classic sort of RPG as well, just like like sprite based. Really love that. There's just quite a few examples of like little RPGs I played that have been turn based, so I'm into that. That said, I don't mean to keep talking about Pokemon again, but there are certain things that I don't have as much patience for now, and I actually appreciate, for example, the removing of random battles in the wild in the new Pokemon games. I'm happy with that. It gets frustrating when you're just trying to get from point A to point B and you just like continually having to battle through when you don't want to, and that kind of stuff obviously was a lot more like of an old thing, so if they brought that back in a remake, or I don't know how Final Fantasy VII has those kind of things, but I would get a bit annoyed by that. Well,
in the PS4 version of Final Fantasy VII, you could actually speed things up. Right. So I think if you clicked R3, then it would play the game at 2 times speed or 4 times speed. Yeah. So when you're trying to do your limit breaks and stuff like that, it's literally not taking forever. It's just it kind of instantaneously finishes the move and the animation, and you can go on to the next one. But I'm not ashamed to say that I think Pokemon shaped the way that I played turn-based games, because I don't think I would have been able to contemplate even starting anything else if it wasn't for Pokemon. That's what got me into the genre.
It would have been for me, to be honest. I think Pokemon was the first one for that, because it must have been for a lot of people, especially of a certain age sort of range.
If you're a kid in the 90s, then the chances are you probably would have played Pokemon. Chances are it would have been your first real turn-based kind of game. But I'm bang up for this. I don't think it's any kind of I don't think it's out of the norm for this kind of thing. I am going to have a look through the chat though, because I've seen it going off a little bit as we was talking about our memories. Prescott says, Shagger, yes I am. Have you seen that clip? No. It's absolutely amazing. I will try and find it, but it was laughing my head off last night. Shagger, yes I am. Good morning lads, good morning Precision, hope you're alright pal. And he says, it's not announced yet, but with having its exclusivity, it means it's 100% coming to the Xbox. I agree, it will at some point come over there. The article makes a very good point as well, saying that Xbox do not have any... they only have Halo coming out as an exclusive for, I think it's a year, to try and get people into the hardware first. We will see if this is one of the games that gets sent over there to try and boost that library. Yeah. Golden Sun on the Game Boy Advance, says Enix, and I don't know what kind of emoji that is.
Yeah, I was trying to work out whether he was like...
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's just excited, I think.
Yeah, that's got his eyes.
He's a fan of it as well. Yeah. I wasn't sure whether he was like mocking me for saying it was on Game Boy Advance, because I couldn't quite remember. I'm pretty sure it was Game Boy Advance.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the Final Fantasy stuff out of the way. I'm sure everyone's looking forward to that. Now, this is a big way. Speaking of things looking forward to. Woo! Oh baby!
We're in the Bibby zone.
We are in the Bibby zone. On Polygon, we have this article for you. So it's Patricia Hernandez says that 17 free horror game demo collections are a throwback to this era. So, back in ye olden days, publishers would distribute morsels of hot new games via demo discs, which you could sometimes get via a magazine, subscriptions, amongst other places. In 2020, both demos and discs are increasingly rarity, which makes a recent horror-themed demo bundle a delight on multiple levels. Available to download via itch.io, the Haunted Disc slaps together 17 different demos, all inspired by the chunky graphics of the first PlayStation console. Woo, baby! Things that make me happy on a Friday is survival horror. And if I'm getting 17 different versions of it, sign me up, baby.
Oh, yeah.
The offering seems to be anything but typical. Orange County, for instance, is a first-person horror skating game. Question mark? Even the more standard takes on the genre sound refreshing. Dread Delusion is an open-world RPG that comes with stats, choices, and quests. But it's also But it's also about a couple of hours long. Love to see it. My favourite game description belongs to Nekoyume. Nekoyume. I think that's how you pronounce that one. Nekoyume.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
A cat-filled dream with a day-night cycle and dozens of randomised events. The jewel case artwork even has a tuxedo cat on the front. I hope it's not the cat that things that get... I mean, if you're putting a cat on the front cover of your game, then obviously I'm going to play it. The best trailer of the bunch goes to An Ode to Moon, a first-person cosmic horror game where you have to find out what happened to a town before its descent into madness. There's also a sauna simulator packed into the bundle, but I'm guessing there's more to it than meets the eye. And we can't forget about Tasty Ramen, which appears to be about a haunted soup mascot. Jesus Christ. Basically, if you're an old school fan of the franchises like Silent Hill and my guys at Resident Evil, then you're bound to find something to like here. But the bundle also takes care of some fun in its concepts rather than regurgitating the genre's heyday.
Exciting. I by the way, baby, I'm just going to have to jump off for 30 seconds because I'm blocking someone in with a car.
Okay,
so
that's fine, mate. I mean, I can just talk about Resident Evil for 30 seconds.
Well, if you can, chat, help him out to keep him talking.
I can pad. Don't worry, I can pad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play something from these because I watched the trailers for some of them this morning, and there is one in particular that stands out, and I want you to tell me which one it is. Okay? So it's not this one. It's this. It is crazy. I've no idea if you can hear this, by the way, so let me know if you can't.
You want to play some cool video games?
Yeah, I want to play games.
These games will get your heart pumping.
You can't hear it, okay. I will... Is it this one? This is incredible. Game Master vibes from this trailer, mate. It's quality. I've realised that the sound isn't coming through my laptop for whatever reason. Every time I plug a HDMI in, things change, which is why I've got the microphone right next to the laptop. Hey. So this is the trailer for the demos, and they look amazing. So there's 17 of these. There's only a couple of seconds left.
That's a proper, like, 1990s.
It's a proper throwback, that, isn't it? Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slap this in the chat for anyone that will be interested in downloading this. Obviously, for those of you that are listening to this on podcast services, do feel free to go down to the show notes. You will be able to find this in there, and it's basically on the Polygon. It's on the Polygon one. You'll see it there. It'll say Polygon, and then the name of the article, 17 free horror games. Feel free to go in there. I think these are available to be able to be played on your PC. I know it was advertised as being a PlayStation demo disc. I can't imagine that they're going to get you to burn it off and put it on a disc to play on your PlayStation 1. Can't see it myself.
Yeah.
I imagine it is going to be playable on your PC, but I love the art style of all of these. There is a few that I think, meh, but the one that was at the very beginning where I paused it and I said, is this the one that we're going to want to see? It is absolutely the one that I want to play.
Exciting stuff. Sounds good.
Okay, so Graham is taking the piss out of the way that I pronounce certain things. I mean, that's kind of no surprise because I embarrass myself on a daily basis. I'm going to, for the sake of you lot in the chat, I'm going to say it again. Hopefully it's going to be a little bit better.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Neko-you.
Neko-you.
Neko-you. You say it. What does that say?
So, probably like Neko-yume or something like that, maybe, or I don't know. I have no context, like, in terms of what it is.
Neck OP3. Only the real ones know, says Precision. So yes, that is in the chat for you now. So if you are interested in playing survival horror games of many different types, so it's not just your traditional tank controls with pre-rendered backgrounds, you've also got first-person shooter types like Doom and Quake that are also been bundled in there, and some psychological horror games. If any of those tickle your fancy, then do feel free to download them. We could talk about it next week because I potentially will be playing these. I don't know when this weekend, but I will be playing some.
Excellent.
Ice cream uploads with the lol face, and then Asin says smashed it.
I'm going to presume sarcasm there, but I don't really know.
Well, I don't know because these bastards in the chat nowadays, they want us to slip. Right? I slip quite a lot when it comes to stuff that I've been read in the chat, as per any of the shows that you've listened to this week. So it wouldn't surprise me if they'd put a deeper meaning behind some of the shit that they're posting in there.
Oh, probably.
So yeah,
you just got to take it on the chin, haven't we?
Maybe you can, mate. Not me today. Okay, so we've got 2 articles left today. Ads is now hosting. Thank you very much, mate. Very much appreciate that. Hope you're doing all right, pal. Do you want to read this one?
Yeah, I'll do this one. It's a PC Gamer article, and it is by Fraser Brown, and it is about how EA has jacked up the prices of lots of old games on Steam.
Boo!
So SimCity Forge, Dragon Age and more are now pricier outside of the US. EA might be just returning to Steam after a long hiatus, but many of its older games have continued to be sold on the platform for years. Yesterday, Steam users started reporting that a significant number of them had jumped in price. It seems to have been the regional prices that have been hit, with the US prices remaining the same. It was typical, isn't it? Dragon Age Origins Ultimate Edition, for instance, is now £24.99, a £5 increase. One of the most ridiculous leaps in SimCity 4 Deluxe Edition, a 16-year-old game that now costs $17.99, nearly double its previous price. You can see the change in prices on SteamDB by clicking on the currency. Price hikes aren't as uncommon as they should be, with publishers sometimes getting caught increasing a game's price just before a sale so they can claim they're offering much larger discounts. Dead Space 2, which rose from $14.99 to $17.99, was less than a tenner until July 2018, so this is its second increase in as many years. On Reddit, M Junior DC9 has posted a few examples of other games that have been increased in the UK, Canada, Europe, Brazil and Russia. Not every currency has been affected either, but it's hard to tell as it's inconsistent. SimCity 4 and Dragon Age are now more expensive in New Zealand, for instance, but Dead Space 2 isn't. Going through EA's list of games, most seem to have been affected. It seems like a change in EA's approach to regional pricing on Steam rather than preparation for a sale, though this doesn't explain the inconsistencies. Aside from the recent Fallen Order, there's no obvious reason why some games have been changed and some haven't. In some cases, the prices are now double what they are on Origin, though some of them were already more expensive on Steam before the price hike. So it's not like EA is bringing them more in line with regional prices on its own platform. Whatever the reason, you might want to shop around if you were planning on buying something from EA on Steam.
I mean, it's no surprise now, is it? Like, no, I don't think anybody in the chat or anybody listening to this while they're in the car or walking the dog or something is going to be gobsmacked at the fact that EA are now putting the prices up of games to try and get more money. It just seems like a notorious thing to do, just piss off the people who want to buy your game. If people haven't bought these games by now, they're probably never going to buy them. Because some of them, like Dragon Age Origins, I'm 90% sure I bought that like 5 years ago on my PS4. Yeah. I'm sure that was like one of the games that I bought with my PS4 way back when. And I'm fairly certain that was a port of an Xbox 360 game.
Well, I played that on PC, Dragon Age Origins, so I don't even know whether it was originally a PC game or not, because I played that several years ago now, I want to say. I found it really useful with the mouse, actually.
Yeah.
Playing it.
Those are the ones that you can press like spacebar in it, and then you can move your characters to do different things.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of zooms out into this bird's eye mode, and that was always how that one was. And then I think the sequel, I think Dragon Age 2 was considered to be not as good or something, I don't know.
Which one was Inquisition?
I think that was after that, so I think Inquisition was like the third one. I might be completely wrong here, but I remember there being like one in the middle where it was more like they scrapped the more strategic elements and just made it a bit more of a, maybe not hack and slash, but something a bit more dumbed down.
Real-time combat.
Yeah. Anyway, I just, like, you're right, if surely anyone wanted to buy these games, they're going to have bought them already, or, you know, they should be enticed by low prices if they are going to buy them, if that makes sense.
Well, you find a lot of the time that people want to play games when they see someone who they like to watch, or they've been it's been talked about somewhere, will go out and then buy that game. That's especially if it's been out for like 5 years. There's no reason for someone to buy that game unless they've seen it somewhere. You don't just wake up in the morning and just think, I want to buy Dragon Age Origins now. It doesn't usually work like that. No. It's usually because you've seen your favourite streamer stream the game and you want to play it yourself. Exactly. But to potentially just ram the prices up, I mean, this is like a way off tangent, but I remember watching The Apprentice like 5 years ago, and they had one of the tasks where they had to create something and then go and sell it on a market, and then in the morning they put prices up saying 70% off, but they had like a price of like £35 and then it'll be down to like £4 or whatever it is. And they got bollocks for it because apparently you can't sell anything at a cut price unless it's been at a certain price for so long. So if it's been there for like, I think it's either 30 or 60 days, it has to be at a price for before you say 70% off or whatever. So it wouldn't surprise me if they are going to do that, like it's mentioned in there, to say that they put the price up and then say massive sale or whatever. But for games that have been that old, I mean, you can get most of these games now on the PlayStation. And the PlayStation Store, albeit a lot of new games that come out, the prices are ridiculous. They don't have as many sales as Steam do. However, the sales that they put on there are usually about 60% off, and it's good. I got a lot of my games a year after they come out in a PlayStation sale on the marketplace, including Dragon Age at one point. So
Yeah.
It's just another way to badmouth EA, but they don't help themselves in instances like this.
No, exactly. Thanks for the 20 months, by the way, of Twitch Prime from Graham.
What a guy. You said that you used Twitch Prime there?
Is that right? Subscribe to Twitch Prime, is what it says.
Yeah. Did you know that if you do have Twitch Prime and you haven't used it, you see where I was going with this?
I see where you're going.
You know, if you do have Twitch Prime and you don't use it on anyone else, then do feel free to use that on us. It will help me move out of my house and into a much bigger one a lot sooner. It will also help keep the lights and mics on in this studio. So thank you very much, Graham, for using that. And we also seen that Dare to DMAC is also hosting us and says, "What's up, guys? What's going on, pal? Hope you're doing good too." Graham just used the Prime icon, the Prime command too, which also gives you information about how you can use your Twitch Prime on us. Basically, yeah. If you don't have Twitch Prime or you've used it on someone else, then feel free to just open your wallet and just throw some more money at us. I mean, it's not, you don't have to do it. All this stuff is free. But if you do get the chance to be able to just say, do you know what, these are giving away good content, it is free, and you want to give it us, that's...
I mean, we will be forever in your debt of, not literally, we're not going to pay you back. One thing I was going to add into this conversation actually was...
Hit me.
You know how The Witcher has become big? I believe they put their prices up on the game. I think, I might be wrong here, but I think they increased the price of The Witcher 3 when the TV series came out.
On all platforms?
I don't know about all platforms, but I don't know if anyone can clarify that, but I feel like that happened.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to have a quick Google of that.
I feel like I heard it.
Puts prices up. This will be interesting, because I remember when the TV show came out, I never played the original Witcher, so I went and bought it, and it was £1.99 on GOG.
Right.
Haggling, what's the point? The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt is 70% off. The Witcher Netflix season, Sparks Resurgence. Yeah, we're very interested to know where they did that.
Yeah, can't find any clarity on it, and whether I'm just completely making it up. But I feel like I definitely feel like I heard that.
That's interesting that they're trying to cash in on stuff like that. Then, I mean, it honestly would not surprise me. I mean, you're paying for. You're buying into the series, and aren't you? You've seen something on TV. You like The Witcher. You go out and you buy the game.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I suppose it is basic sort of.
What's the terminology?
It's not really supply and demand, is it? Because I suppose the idea is that if there's more demand, doesn't the price go? Does the price go down when there's more demand? Surprisingly, I did economics for a year in sixth form. I only got to AS level, and I was like, oh, fuck.
But so your degree's coming in well now.
Absolutely no idea. The opposite, yeah.
Fatman Dave says loot boxes might be banned for kids, so they have to make money somehow now. And I don't think, well, if that was the case, I don't think putting the price up by £5 on a game that's like 7 years old is the right way of going about it.
Fair enough. I think Asim saying it was the opposite. So.
Next Gen Renegade says, I'm sure Sony had it for around £7 at the time. Like you just said, Asim said it is the opposite. Actually, they put the prices down, was on sale everywhere. Enix says, to be fair, Sony has the best sales on the store. To be fair, I agree. I mean, when you're paying for a digital game when it just comes out and they're trying to charge £55, that pisses me off when I can go to the shop and buy it for £35.
Exactly, yeah.
But when it comes to sales, they are phenomenal. Ashton says The Witcher 3, that is anyway. Yeah. I can't imagine the second and, well, the first one definitely wasn't that expensive because I picked that one up.
Well, they certainly must have sold a lot more regardless after that TV series.
Well, it's done really well. It's done well for the brand overall.
Yeah.
This is full screen. So this is our last news story for today. And for the week. PC Gamer! And this is Shaun Prescott. It says, expect a new Call of Duty and more remasters from Activision this year. Okay. How often do you play Call of Duty games?
Zero amount.
Okay, so I will keep this to myself. Graham, come down a second. I'm only joking. In unsurprising news, there will be a new Call of Duty game this year. Activision COO Cody Johnson confirmed as much during the company's Q4 2019 financial results call today, teasing that playtests have already generated excitement. We don't know who's developing it, but it's unlikely to be Infinity Ward. That studio shipped the Modern Warfare reboot late last year, with Activision claims sold dramatically better than its predecessor Black Ops 4, to the tune of double-digit percentage increase. A summary of the call can be found here. That said, the company isn't expecting this year's installment to perform quite as well, but it didn't specify why. During the same call, CEO Bobby Kotick... One second, let me stop that. I apologise if you did hear anything coming through then. The video was playing for it. Indicated that more remasters are in the pipeline following the success of the Crash Bandicoot and Spyro remakes, but there won't be all remakes per se. Stay tuned for some future announcements, but beyond pure remasters, there's a lot of opportunities now to innovate and think about totally new content within these IPs. A Pitfall remake maybe, or the mould of Uncharted. We're all desperate for a cinematic Pitfall game, right? It was all sunshine and rainbows during the same call. Blizzard president... Is that... No, that's a completely different article. Fair enough. So, yes, we're expecting a brand new Call of Duty game this year. Surprise. I mean...
Excited?
Am I excited? I didn't even get the last one. I mean, the last one looked the best one that it'd been for a while, but... I don't know. It's just first-person shooter games. I'm just kind of going off them now. Like, I feel like the whole era of first-person shooter game. I mean, there is nothing better than a good team deathmatch game. Yeah. I absolutely love team deathmatch. It surprised me that the Black Ops 4 didn't sell that well, considering they had Battle Royale in there. Fair enough. You was paying £45 to be able to play in a Battle Royale mode if you wanted to. It's also surprised me that they didn't take that mode out and sell it separately for £10 or something. Yeah. I feel like they probably could have got a lot more money for it. But a new Call of Duty game coming this year does not surprise me at all, because I'm sure I've seen in a documentary somewhere, and I assume it's probably common sense to most people, but they have 3 different studios that pump this game out, so each one take it in turns to bring one out.
Yeah. I'm just going through my mind after you said that, like, in terms of what would have happened if they released the Battle Royale mode for free, and then, like, in a similar way to on Fortnite, where you could, like, unlock and buy sort of, like, the other elements.
Like a season pass.
Yeah, maybe you could be, like, an option at the start, as, like, unlock, like, buy the full game or whatever, and then I wonder whether that would have, like, got them more money if they included sort of loot box style stuff or skins or whatever in the Battle Royale. I'm confident
it would have gone through the roof, but there must be a reason why they haven't done that, because that format in the Battle Royale scene at the moment seems to be standard, especially if there's a main part of the game and you're just selling off a Battle Royale style. Yeah. So it's interesting to think that they must have considered it somewhere down the line.
Yeah, I guess they just saw it as, I mean, it's an extra as appealing and extra as it is. I suppose it's still just like, we should probably include a Battle Royale in it as well. People are still going to buy it regardless or whatever. But
but to absolutely nobody's surprise, it looks like we're going to get a new Call of Duty game this year. What that may consist of, is it going to be boots on the ground? Is it going to be jetpacks and flying around and something that looks like Halo but it's Call of Duty? I will never know, and that isn't me dissing it much. I just think the formula of these kind of games now, for me as a consumer, of someone who did previously like the first person shooter genre, it's just kind of dying now. It's a bit give me something different.
I've always been a bit that way with first person shooters. I know this is like a bit of an ignorant comment, but it's like, for me, I'm like, played one first person shooter, played them all. I know like they all differ quite a lot really, but it has been one of those genres where it's been popular for so long, and eventually people are going to have to get tired of it. It's been like it's been the go-to video game genre for like 20 years, I feel like, at least. And you know,
well, someone needs to just give us a Time Splitters 2 remastered. Do you know what I mean? Just give us something like that, something that doesn't take itself so seriously. That you can just dick about with, because the whole Modern Warfare of
I find myself, I've always been this way, but I continue to like colourful games that don't take themselves too seriously most of the time. Sometimes I like jumping into like realistic stuff, but like, you know, like even GTA, obviously it's realistic in one sense, but it's also like silly and like over the top, and I quite like that mix if they are going to do something realistic.
What about the Saints Row style of things where you can slap someone in the face with a dildo?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's a lot more realistic.
It is. I mean, 100%. I mean, that's happened to me on a daily basis for many years. But I won't go there. That's for like my fans, only fans.
I thought we wasn't pimping on Dad and Lad Gaming says, morning boys, morning pal. Enix says they said they'll be sticking with boots on the ground from now on since the backlash. Again, doesn't surprise me. Hopefully boots on the ground, says Dare to DMAC. Enix also goes on to say they are making a Time Splitters 2 remake, but it seems like it'll be by a student team. Interesting. Precision says FPS was good until the YouTubers made money at milking scheme. Is it? When I think of FPS, I immediately don't think of YouTubers being able to make massive amounts of money on it unless they're esports players. Like, I mean, this again is just me being completely ignorant to a potentially one side of YouTube, but the battle royale scene, 100%. Like, if they're good players and they've got a personality and they've been able to make money out of it by streaming it, then essentially that's what we're doing now. Do you know what I mean? We're talking about video games.
I think maybe insofar as obviously Call of Duty and that are just very popular games, and naturally therefore a lot of people will just stream them and make content on them, but I don't know if it's necessarily any more than, well, I don't know, Minecraft or any other really popular game. I don't know really.
Battle Royale, I can understand that point of view, but when it comes to FPS, I'm not sure. Like, there's clearly something at the one side of YouTube that I have absolutely no idea about for stuff like that. But I mean, if you want to go for bang for buck and money spent, and time spent playing a game, then playing any kind of MMO like World of Warcraft, if you're having to put in 90 hours a week to make content on that, then Jesus Christ, your money, your time is worth the money. Do you know what I mean? Like, for money per minute, we'll call it. But for an FPS, they made $1 million over a course of maybe 3 years, fair play, but they pimped themselves out, and the developers got a little lazy, in my opinion, kind of like good sports games. Oh, right, wait. Is he talking about the people who make the games to pumping them out to be easy, or the people who make content for them?
Well, I don't know. I feel like it's on about the content creators, but I don't know.
Oh, a bit of both. Okay, yeah. There's clearly a side of YouTube that I have absolutely no idea about, because how do you even make good FPS content with stuff online?
Well, I suppose there's a lot of those like ridiculous, like people who are ridiculously good at the game.
Oh, making montages and stuff like that.
Yeah, montages and like spinning and shooting sort of stuff and all that. Maybe there is quite a lot of that, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, usually the stuff that I see of that is just people's. What's that? It's happening again. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just when I talk too much. It just feels like my throat's burning, and like I just want to throw up or something.
Oh God.
It's gonna be it's really weird. Oh God.
360 bro scopes. Oh no.
Here we go. Hey, bring it in here. Bring it in here. OnlyFans.
There's a man outside the door that we don't talk about on the stream. We pretend he doesn't exist.
And believe it or not, he owns the company. So.
Yeah, it's worrying, isn't it? It is worrying.
But yeah, it's as someone who can give or take Call of Duty, I feel like the bubble has got to pop at some point.
Yeah.
It's gone on far too long.
I think it's
gone on far too long.
I suppose you can say the same for like FIFA, really.
Yeah. Do you know what? For any franchise game, the bubble. I don't even know. Like.
Yeah. It's like, on the one hand, I agree. It's like it must just get overly saturated and people must get bored of it. But then, unfortunately, like a lot of the sort of economics of media in general is like safeness makes money. If you know what I mean, like movies or whatever, like don't take risks, make it safe, and people just buy it.
Yeah, but the formula is exactly the same every time. Like, again, anybody that's in the chat that wants to, have a discussion about this, I'm more than happy to. We've probably got like another 10 minutes left or so, but when it comes down to like Call of Duty, Battlefield, we don't see enough of Halo to be able to. Oh my God, what is this?
Oh no!
Ready for you.
Oh my God, is it suitable to be opened on stream?
Well, maybe.
I bet. Just
think
about the man who's just given us it.
I'll leave that decision up to you, but it is kids' family time, just so you know.
Oh my God. Okay, so.
And it comes with batteries.
Okay, so this is a very interesting change of pace.
I don't dare personally, but go ahead.
All right. Okay. So
No, I mean,
we'll put that conversation on hold, maybe for another time.
What I'll do is I'll just peep into it from this side.
Okay. Asim says that he thinks that the reboot has breathed some life back into the series. Do you know what? I agree with that. Let me. Right. So the reason I was meant to ask you before about what you was doing the last couple of days is because Loading Bar very kindly have given us some more beer, considering this twat dropped a can of it a couple of months ago when it went all over the studio. So they're very kindly giving us some more beers, which I will demonstrate and show you right now. Considering we're doing some unboxing stuff, but they have given us some. I don't know if you can see that.
You probably won't be able to hear you.
Some pale ales from Loading Bar. Top guys, they've sorted us out again. Right. So. Do we need to put another light on? Probably not.
Oh, I don't know if we want people to see what this could be, so that's the danger. Our viewers don't really probably know what Lee is capable of who's giving us this.
Well, we're opening it on screen, so... Oh, P3!
Right, okay. This is like a nightmare to open. This is useless because it's so tight.
Stop being such a tart.
Hang on. Oh, it's in a cardboard box. Right, okay, we're safe with the plastic.
Oh, shit.
This is going to be great for our podcast viewers.
I know, yeah. Well, the podcast viewers are missing excitement, clearly.
This is why you need to tune in live at 10 AM every day. Okay. Put that
Oh my god. Right, so it's literally giving us no idea on the box what it is. Store in a cool, dry place. Oh my god.
I'm worried.
It's literally the most generic cardboard box ever as well. Is it heavy? Oh god, it is a bit chunky.
Alright. Here we go.
Tell you what, that's some fine unboxing. Is this? No, it's not, because Graham's done an unboxing before. Right, okay. Is it just going to be like tiles or something?
Oh, hang on, what the hell? This is not what I expected. That's not at all what I expected. This would be like the most weird thing ever, I can guarantee.
Yeah, but, okay, so the excitement's... A horse's head, said Vern. Right, okay, so... What the fuck? I think it's an old console.
Go on, take it out.
Oh my god!
What the?
It's like an old CRT TV. Well, that was an anticlimax, wasn't it? It looks like a CCTV monitor.
Wow, that's retro. This is going to be perfect if we can play like NES games on it or something.
He's been telling me that he's been looking for a Sony, a Trinitron. Oh fuck me, a Trinitron for ages. But I thought he was going to have like something a bit bigger than, well, like a 32-inch TV, not a CCTV monitor. The Spanish announce table. That's what it does look like, to be fair. It looks like one of the old TVs that you get in a wrestling table. Alright, so that was anticlimactic.
I mean, it is kind of an impressive bit of kit, potentially.
Oh my god, look at the dials on the back. Nothing says old school like that, but it's got internal batteries. Right, okay, well I don't know how he's going to be able to plug anything into that because it's all antennas. Yeah, there's all antennas. I think he wasn't meaning to play games on this. What year is it? Very good question. What year is it?
1765.
Yeah. I have absolutely no idea because it doesn't mention on it what year it was made. Oh, even when it last had a pat test for a start, so I ain't plugging this in. It blows the whole place up. Oh,
what's that?
But it literally is Spanish announce table stuff. Well, what a way to end this week's episode, guys.
I feel like having it this way.
Ooh. I see, just going to show it off there. Good stuff. Oh, right, so let's have a look through the comments of this wonderful unboxing. Okay, so unboxing, OP3, 12-inch black Black Mamba, yeah. We've got a couple of them upstairs. If it's one of Lee's toys, then yeah, definitely won't want to be on the screen. There you go. He knows. Wilbur point two. Any of you, if anyone wants to know what Wilbur looks like, go onto my Instagram. My first day in the office, I got whacked in the face with it. A microwave. You'd probably start. Spanish Dance Table TV. Good God Almighty, it's broken in half. Okay, so it's not an episode of the Antiques Roadshow.
Now,
this is all the shit that we can dig up.
This for $3.99.
No one's gonna buy that for $3.99. But the thing is, you can't plug anything into it. It's all antenna stuff. I don't know what. If he wants to play video games on it, it's not even got the red.
I know, yeah, it doesn't,
yellow and white
whatever it's called.
component.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. But yes, that is today's episode of The Scoop and the final one for this week done. Thank you very much for joining us. If you want to find out where this is going to be heading after we finish, what are the 4 major podcast services that we put
The
on?
major podcast services are SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play.
Yes, they are. And don't forget, this will be live on YouTube around about an hour after the show's finished, which is currently 22 minutes past 11. So by 11:30 you should be able to find this on Twitch. By 12:30 it should be on YouTube. But don't forget, we will be going live tonight again at 7 p.m. for some PES 6 community action. There's a few people in the chat that could potentially be getting involved, i.e. OP3PC decision. Vern, I've seen him talking about it this morning, but if you do have a PC and you want to get involved, then do either contact me or I can point you in a direction where you can go and get it from, i.e. CEX or my Betterware lady. But is there anything else that you want to say about it?
Not really. I'm just impressed with the unexpected turn that this ended up taking. And hope everyone has a good weekend, really.
Where can they find this kind of content again, mate? When and where are they going to see the next episode?
Oh, the next episode is going to be on Monday at 10 a.m.
Ish.
Yeah,
because we've never seen start on time.
So make sure to tune in, and just like Bibby's already said, all the podcast channels, etc. So yeah, make sure you catch them all.
Pokemon reference. But again, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in this week and for today's episode. But until Monday, guys, for The Scoop,
stay frosty.
Yes, you shall.